All, I hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be a new feature for me. It's going to be a bit of Mariners talk, but with some Mariners news for you, some latest Mariners news, and what's going on in and around the club as being reported so far. The first thing we were going to talk about is the Mariners' sort of promotion prospects. If you look at the overall odds for the Mariners coming up, the chances of winning the league are down to being quite slim. Obviously, with that horrendous losing run that we had, basically between December and November really, and just last week, 2 wins in 11. Not fantastic. That's really cut our chances down of getting top spot. At the moment, Grimsby for that are priced at 40-1 to win the National League, which is a little bit of a disappointment. I'll take you through some of the prices for who could win it. Stockport are 2-1, closely followed by Chesterfield at 9-4, Halifax are 6-1, Notts County are 6-1, Wrexham are 13-2, Bournemouth are 15-2, and Bromley are 33-1. Like I say, Grimsby are 40-1 to win the National League. I don't realistically think, especially with the squad we've got at the minute, that really will happen. Maybe if we get an out-and-out striker in, I think that it might change a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. But the hopes of a sort of winning the playoffs, however, the bookies seem a little bit more hopeful of that. They seem very, very hopeful that we could. Obviously, the promotion winners, the 11-10, obviously the main protagonists of Stockport at 11-10, Wrexham are 5-2, Chesterfield are second favourites at 5-4, Notts County 11-4, Halifax 3-1, Bournemouth 7-2. We are 9-1 to get promotion. And our opponents at the weekend, Bromley, are 14-1. That's some of the latest bookies odds. It's one of these things that with the missing pieces that obviously Grimsby have at the moment, I can definitely see us finishing playoff places as we lie ninth at the moment. I can see us finishing in the playoff places unless we sign that out-and-out striker, which we're looking for. The league isn't out of reach. We're 11 points off the playoff place, off the automatic promotion places. So it's not out of reach, but I think it is going to be very, very difficult to claw that back. If we go on a run like we did, but the other way rather than losses but wins, it can happen. It's still only mid-January, but we definitely need 2 or 3 signings in. So even though the bookies don't really fancy us to win the league, they're giving us a chance of probably going up through the playoffs. Getting in the playoffs, I think, is with the bookies is quite high, as you can tell by the odds that I've given on those. So I think Grimsby, they have a chance of a top 7 finish, but we'll just see how it portrays and how it goes from there. The next thing I want to talk about is Grimsby Live did bring up yesterday Um, so, like the replacement for Alex Hunt, and they mentioned that Grimsby could already have that, have the option sort of signed up. According to Grimsby Live, Elliot Jackson, of course, the sports editor there, basically said that Paul Hurst had said that probably Harry Clifton could fill that role. I think Harry Clifton's had every role in that midfield, really. Could he fill that role? I did see some people say yesterday that they don't believe that he could. And obviously getting Burgess in, that adds an extra body, but apparently Paul is looking for another midfielder because of the loss of Alex Hunt. As he said, Harry Clifton doesn't replace Alex Hunt, but what he was basically saying in the interview is that he wouldn't be a terrible choice to take on that role if needed. And Harry Clifton is dependable. He will do us a job in that midfield. He has energy in the midfield. What we love about it as well is that he obviously is a Grimsby lad. He cares about the club, and these are the kind of players that we want at the club. I know there is people don't seem to be totally behind that he's the answer after Alex Hunt went to Oldham. But I can also see where Paul's coming from. But I think we need to be looking at other players besides, and I'd probably say a permanent signing. Try and go more permanent with those two, especially Hunt's replacement, and obviously striker. Try and go permanent for them rather than loan signing. Another bit of news we should know later on, as later on Paul will do his press. That's coming up around about 3:00. Elliot Jackson said earlier. So we should know more, possibly about James McEwen's situation at the club. Obviously, there's been rumours flying around on social media about James McEwen. Will he be staying or will he be going? Paul did give a hint after the game at the weekend that he would sit down with James if there was any real interest. But as far as we know at the minute, there has been no concrete interest from any club. I did see a couple of days ago somebody mentioned Morecambe. I'm sure people will be intrigued because you can kind of understand James's stance to a point if he did want to get away. And that's not saying by any means that Macca wants to leave the club. But from the goalkeeper perspective, it's very hard to sit on the sidelines, especially when you've been number one for as long as he has. And the minute, at the minute he isn't. So there's going to be frustration. And for goalkeepers, it is a lot bigger. They want to get out. They want to play. They don't want to be sat on the bench. And the difficulty for goalkeepers is because it's such a specialised area. If you've got 2 or 3 goalkeepers, 2 of them aren't going to play regularly. So maybe there might be a little bit of frustration coming from James on that. I don't know whether we'll get a move away in January unless something really big comes up. But my initial thought on James McEwen is he could be leaving at the end of the season, especially if it keeps going at the moment the way it's going. Obviously, Paul likes doesn't like James, or James isn't fitting into what he wants right now. So we have to sort of take that. And, Max is doing okay. I don't think he's doing any better than Maka, but he's not doing any worse either. And I think, like I said, for goalkeepers, there's always that, if I'm not playing and I was number one or have been number one for so long, I'm now being frozen out. That's bound to come across Maka's mind. Is my time at the club over? Or could it be coming to an end? And that's bound to be crossing his mind. After 10 years, all of a sudden this year he's not playing as much. But we'll just see how that develops and how transfers develop. We're not massively on social media being linked with anybody. But I think in the next week or so, because there's about 2 weeks left of the window, I'm sure in the next week or so it will start to get busy again, and I'll keep you updated on here on Mariners Talk to let you know exactly how we do, and I'll be back later on with another video going through Paul's press conference and what goes on there. But out of this video, what do you think of the Mariners promotion push? Do you think the title is gone now? Unless we go on a massive run of wins rather than defeats. One other thing I will touch on as well is that our game at Wrexham is going to be Wrexham's first game with crowds since restrictions have been lifted in Wales. So tickets are going to be available for Grimsby fans to go to Wrexham. So if you want to go to Wrexham, I believe next Tuesday, I believe. If you do want to go get your tickets, they are going to be available. And go and support the boys down at Wrexham. But it's good to see that the restrictions have been lifted and Wrexham can now have crowds again. I'm sure it'll be an emotional day when we do go down there, obviously, for Sean Pearson and Maguire Drew, because Maguire Drew played for Wrexham as well a couple of seasons ago. So you got two all Wrexham boys going back to Wrexham. Obviously, Sean Pearson really well loved at Wrexham, as he is here, to be honest. So it'll be an emotional time, but that's it for now. Leave me your thoughts on the promotion, whether you feel Harry Clifton is a ready-made replacement for Alex Sun. I don't believe so, but Paul seems to believe that he could be. And give me your opinions as well on the Wrexham game as well. And I'll be back later on with another video going through Paul Hurst's pre-match press conference. I'll speak to you guys later on. Let me know down below exactly what you think of those things. I'll see you guys later on.